All right, let's dive into one of the most fascinating and frankly misunderstood parts of who you are, your memory. It's probably not what you think it is. And, understanding how it really works, that can change everything: how you learn, how you think, and even how you trust your own experiences.
So let's start with a big question. Think about one of your earliest memories. Go on, picture it. Is what you're seeing in your mind's eye a perfect, flawless video playback of exactly what happened? Or is it something else? A little hazy, maybe. Maybe even a little edited.
You see, most of us walk around treating our memory like it's a hard drive, right? Like it's supposed to perfectly record our lives. But cognitive psychology tells us that's not it at all. It's actually a dynamic, creative, and way more interesting process. Your memory is actively reconstructing the past every time you access it, not just passively playing it back. Okay, so if it's not a recorder, then what is it? A great way to think about it is like a busy workshop. See, information isn't just filed away somewhere. Oh no, it's actively processed, it's worked on, and it's organized through this really clear three-stage system. Here's how it works. First, all the sights and sounds of the world just rush into your sensory memory, but only for a second or two. It's super brief. The important bits then get moved to the active workbench. That's your working memory. And from there, if they're handled correctly, they get stored in the vast, sprawling warehouse of your long-term memory.
So let's zoom in on that middle step, the workbench, your working memory. This is where you are actively thinking, solving problems, and really making sense of the world. This is where all the action happens. But it has one critical and very famous limitation.
And here it is, the famous magical number 7, plus or minus 2. What this means is that for most of us, this number represents the maximum items or chunks of information that we can actively juggle on our mental workbench at any given time. That's it. Kind of wild, right? It's a pretty significant bottleneck. So you might be wondering, if that workbench is so tiny, how on earth do we manage to think complex thoughts, or learn a new skill, or even just follow a conversation? Well, we don't get a bigger workbench. Instead, we use this really clever trick to pack more onto it. And that trick is called chunking. So instead of trying to remember a random string of numbers like 1, 9, 8, 4, which takes up 4 of your precious 7 slots, your brain is smart. It groups them into a single, meaningful chunk, the year 1984. And just like that, you're only using one slot, leaving plenty of room for more stuff. Now, this is where experts seem to just defy the rules. They don't have bigger brains or bigger workbenches. What they do is develop something called long-term working memory. Through thousands of hours of practice, they've built these incredibly efficient retrieval systems. It's like having a high-speed conveyor belt from their long-term warehouse that delivers tools directly to their workbench, instantly. So now, let's go explore that vast warehouse itself, your long-term memory. And this isn't just some messy pile of everything you've ever learned. Nope, it's a highly organized, pretty sophisticated filing system. It basically has two main filing cabinets. On one side, you've got explicit memory. This is for everything you can consciously declare, like the capital of France, or what you had for breakfast. That's your knowing what. Then you've got implicit memory. This is for all the skills you do without even thinking, like riding a bike or tying your shoes. That's your knowing how. So, what keeps this massive warehouse from becoming a total disaster? The answer is schemas. You can think of them as mental blueprints. Like when you walk into a restaurant, you have a schema that tells you what to expect. Tables, menus, waiters. These schemas are shortcuts that help you make sense of the world super quickly. But, and this is a big but, this brilliant organizational system has a major downside. There was this classic study where people waited in an office and later were asked what they saw. A whole bunch of them remembered seeing books on the shelves because, books fit their office schema. The catch? There were no books. Our expectations can literally create false memories. So our memory system is definitely not a perfect machine. It has bugs, like creating false memories, but it also has these incredible features. And understanding this whole system, both its limitations and its strengths, that is the key to upgrading your own memory. First, let's talk about forgetting. It's not just one thing. Sometimes it's an encoding failure. You were distracted, you weren't paying attention, and the information never even made it to the warehouse. Other times, it's storage decay. The memory trace just fades. And then there's that super frustrating retrieval failure, the tip of the tongue feeling where you know it, it's in there somewhere, but you just can't find the file. So here's the most important point. If you want to fight forgetting and build strong, lasting memories, the single most powerful upgrade you can make is to focus on deep, meaningful processing when you first learn something. And here's what that really means. Shallow processing is just repeating something over and over. Like a phone number you need for 2 minutes. It might stay on the workbench for a bit, but it rarely makes it to the long-term warehouse. Deep processing, on the other hand, that's all about connecting new information to stuff you already know. You're not just repeating it, you're really, truly understanding it. And look, there are proven techniques to force your brain into this deeper mode. For example, the self-reference effect shows that we remember things way better when we connect them to our own lives. And the generation effect proves that struggling to come up with an answer yourself cements that memory far better than just being told. The key to all of this is to actively engage with the information, not just passively receive it. So at the end of the day, your memory isn't a passive thing you just have. It's an active process that you do. It's not some dusty old hard drive of the past. It's a dynamic workshop for building your understanding of the world. And since your memory is a skill, not a hard drive, the only question left is, what will you build?